Hello, my name is Doris, and welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new here. And I really appreciate it if you subscribe. I know I tell you that every time, but it does mean a lot to the channel. Today, what I wanted to talk about is I did want to do a little tutorial on how I take t-shirts that have a cute graphic or a saying on the front of them, and no matter what size they are, I upcycle them using men's shirts. And I'm going to take you at the end of this, stick around, I'll show you how I do that and walk you through it, and then you can do it with any t-shirt and any men's shirt. And it's one of the ways that I use for that, and it's a pretty easy tutorial, and I think they're a lot of fun, and makes them comfy and very wearable. The other thing I wanted to do is just give you a brief overview of what happened in our WhatNot show, our first ever that we had this week, and I'm going to do that first here. I have a lot of footage. I did take videos of us doing the show, and if you're interested in that, I will do a separate video that just talks about the WhatNot show, what we learned and what we did. First, let me say that it was fun. We had a good time. Second, let me say we didn't sell a darn thing, but that's okay. We had 22 items and a couple of extras, surprise items, that the thought that we had, because it was our first show and we weren't sure how things would work, we wanted to make it easy. So what we did is we put all of our items into the WhatNot shop, and we put them in as what WhatNot calls quality items, and those are ones that stick around. You have a couple of choices for how you put the items in. You can put them in as temporary items, and that means that they go away after the show. Well, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to give everybody the opportunity. If they wanted to go back, they can go back and do a buy it now on the items. And then we also made them where you could make an offer on them. It's not the same as an auction, but it's a buy it now, but you can put an offer in. And then we can either accept or decline that offer, with, of course, a different fee structure. Then the other thing that we did was during the show, my friend Tammy from the House of Upcycle, she and I did the show together cooperatively. You can only run it through one account, so we sold her things, or we had up for sale her things as well as my things. And what we did is we traded off, so that not just one of us had to do all of the work of being in front of the camera. So I would get up and show an item, and then what you do is you go and you do what they call pin an item. And pinning an item puts it in the bottom of the screen so people can see that that's the item that's going to be next up for sale, and it's what you're showing them. And then what you can do is you can make the item open for sale. Now, if you're going to do an auction, you can set it up and just say that you want to auction the item. You can set an opening bid price, and you can set the time of the auction. We did that on a couple of items because we wanted to experiment and try it out. I think most people do that. I think our show was a little different for some people because we were selling upcycling goods, not just thrifted things or new things that they bought in bulk from someplace like fair.com. So that was a little different. I know there are other sellers that are like us, but because it was our first time, and I don't think, very clear in my advertising for the show that it was going to be that kind of show. So that is one of the things I'll learn and I'll change. I'll change our next invite for the show to be more explanatory of the types of things that we're going to sell. We did have a pretty good audience, although I couldn't get a count and I couldn't tell afterwards how many people had joined our show. But it was interesting because it was page after page of people joining us. Though with the page after page of people joining us, it was kind of difficult to tell, at any one time what somebody was doing. So while Tammy was showing her items, I'd be at my computer, watching for comments to see if anybody had questions. And then also I would set it up and prep the item up for the next show, for the next person. So when I was going to get up and show my things, I'd have it ready to go. And when Tammy was getting ready to show her things, she'd have it ready to go for me. So that worked out pretty good. So all in all, I would say that other than not selling anything, the show was a success and we learned how to do it. And everybody was super nice in the show. So I would do it again, and we are going to do it again. We just have to get together and decide the when. So please join us, on WhatNot and look at our shop there. It's under LittleBirdProducts. So if you look for LittleBirdProducts, you'll see. And you can purchase things that are up there for sale. And those things that are up there right now, for the most part, they are not in our Etsy shop. And we haven't decided yet if we're going to leave those exclusively for WhatNot sales or if we're going to put them in Etsy. So we'll see. So stay with me and I will merge right into my tutorial of what I'm going to call my t-shirt shirts, because it's a t-shirt paired with a shirt. Thank you for watching. Hello. I am here today to show you what I do when I make what I call my t-shirt shirts. And I've already started the first part of the process. And the first part of the process is to pick out some t-shirts with some kind of a graphic on them, like these that I really like. These. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, and I have a few more behind me over there. And what I do is I pick those out and I take them into what I call my design room, and that's where I have my my stock of men's shirts. And so what I do is I take them in there because I go through all of my men's shirts and I put them up next to the t-shirts. I try to pull them out by color. And you can see I have quite a few of them. And I usually pick them out by color and by weight because I want them to be sturdy enough to be a shirt, but I also want them to be lightweight enough that they pair nicely with a t-shirt. And I'm taking you through all of these because all of these I have matched or paired. In this case, it's 2 of them, and here's the shirt that they go with. Okay, so you can see the kind of pairing that I do. And then I keep them together with that because I try to do it in kind of a semi-production mode in a sense, except of course for this video, I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to pick this one because it's my favorite. It says, "I am so done." And that might have to be my own shirt. And in that case, what I did was I wanted to find something that, of course, these are predominant colors. It had to have yellow, blue, maybe a little bit of black, but predominantly yellow and blue in it. And it had to go with the white. So I thought, oh, maybe this one. But then I didn't like the yellow with that. But I do have that out. And I did take these and have them freshly laundered. I laundered them myself. I didn't take them, but I like that because I like to have them laundered because I do keep them, even though they're indoors, I do keep them in storage, and so I like to have all the ones I've chosen be laundered. And I like this one with that, so that one kind of went. These go with something else. This goes with something else. But then I saw this one. Now that one I really like. It has bright yellow, navy. The other thing about it is it has a snap front and it has a pocket. So there's some things that I really like about that. So I kind of put that with it to say, maybe that'll do. And then I had this yellow one, just a plain yellow, but it's a little light. So it's more of a buttercuppy yellow. And it's like, okay, that won't go with it. So you can see how you have to go through. Well, for me, I have to go through a lot of shirts to find one that I think will be just perfect. I did like this one though too. So it's like, okay, which one wins out? Well, when you look at them, I think I like this one because it has a bolder statement. The other thing is it has longer sleeves. This one has short sleeves, which would be all right. But one of the things that I really want to do with this is I want to take and cut the sleeves off about here, because I like a 3/4 length sleeve with the t-shirt shirts. And I'm not stuttering, it's just a t-shirt shirt because it's a t-shirt paired with a shirt. I want to take those cuffs off, and I'm going to make those pockets. Every good tunic or dress, as you know, really needs to have pockets, whether they're nice big breast pockets or whether they're pockets down here. And even though this one has pockets, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to retain those pockets when I cut the center part out. Because what I did already to prep this shirt, I'm going to put this away, scoot that over there so I can show you. What I already did is I cut the sides, the sleeves off, and I cut it down the side. And then what I did is I took it to my serger and serged that. Now you don't have to finish those, but it's nice for me because I have a serger. I just finished it down the side. Now what I'm going to do is lay this out, and I will turn my camera around and I'll show you what I do to prepare my shirt laid out here on my table. And what I want to do is I want to retain those pockets, but I try to keep this as close to the neck as I can, and then I'm going to angle it. But what I'm going to do is when I get down here by the seam placket, I'm going to take it straight. So it'll be a little angle there, but it'll come down straight here, because I am going to want to keep that away from the pocket, but I want to keep it relatively straight here. And this will help me retain as much of that as I can, but also what I think I'm going to do is I am going to cut this to retain the placket. So I'm going to cut it right up here, and then when I get past the pocket, I'm going to join that seam that I got to right there, see? So I'm keeping the neck intact. So this is what will be attached to the t-shirt. So I'm relatively pleased with that. I'm going to do it the same way here. See where my pocket is? Right there is where I veered off. So I'm going to cut this like this. And then I'm going to come up here. Because I'll use this, I never waste anything, I'll use this snap front later for another project. So here, and I'll also use the collar for another project. So this is not waste, it's going to be used later. All right. Now what I'm going to do, because I have my sergers and I use my sergers, but you don't have to use a serger for this, that I am going to take and finish these seams, because this is what will be married with the t-shirt. The t-shirt will be in front of this. But the next thing I'm going to do is put this sleeve on, and it fits me pretty good. I'm going to cut this off here, so my sleeve will be about a little longer than 3/4 length, but this is going to become my pocket in the front. So that'll be my pocket. So I'm going to do that with both sleeves, then take it to the serger, and then I'll show you how I'm going to marry that. Serging the edges of the shirt, and I always pin it up on front of the t-shirt because I never trust myself for how anything looks until I have it pinned up. And this is going to be mine. Other thing I did is I trimmed off that little bit of band at the neck, because I like the neck to be a little wider, and this is going to be a slip over. So I'm going to take you and show you, here's what the side looks like. And remember, I cut off the sleeves to 3/4. And there's the back, which I kind of like. And what I did as well is I took the sleeves and made them pockets. And what I did is I just turned them wrong side out, hemmed the bottom there, and this is going to be what I call a double pocket. And I'll probably put it right at the side here like this. And because I will, when I stitch it, I'll just stitch it here, down and around. It'll be what I call a double pocket. And that means this will be a pocket inside and then it'll be a pocket behind, because you can unsnap this and put your hand in. So there'll be nice deep pockets, one on each side, plenty to hold cell phone, money, car keys, whatever. So this is going to be my perfect shirt, and it does make a statement. And then you'll notice I left the breast pockets intact. So what I'll probably do is up there, I'll put my credit cards, because it does have a snap and a little bit of money, so that I have it right next to my breast so I don't lose it. The sleeves might be a little long, so I might be tempted to roll those up and make a little cuff, but we'll see after I get them on. And that's a nice lightweight cotton. So I'll come back and show you me wearing it when I'm all finished.